So here we are in the hole. We've obviously got things recording what we're doing because this is experimental archaeology, but essentially we're going to try and move as much of this chalk, dig it and move it in a basket, and we're going to see if we can move, what, half a ton?
Yeah.
Half a ton of chalk, see how quickly we can do it. That's the mission. So I'm going to clear a spot to hopefully lay my basket in, and then we can start moving. The maths is interesting. 1 ton of chalk equates to 20 of these baskets fully loaded. That's about 50 kilos. So 20 of these baskets will give us a ton of chalk. So 10 will give us half a ton. Oh, this is poor. You need a really clean surface for these to work. This is going to be pretty good. Just want to make sure that we're getting as much as we can. Going to definitely need gloves.
Yeah.
I reckon that's probably 50. And then we'll take it from there. Ooh. So this is basket 1. 45. Basket 1. Oh, that's definitely heavier. I'm going to go a bit heavier there. There we go. So if you maybe grab that and haul while I lift.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. That's good. Yeah. Ooh. 53. This is not best practice, but there it is. 53. Woo! Hard work. Okay, so Felix is in the hole. He's trying the basket against the wall. And off he goes. So how's the tool, Felix?
It's alright. Definitely not modern, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's the usual reaction to a piece of antler and a hard piece of chalk. It's alright. So it's amazing to think what these people were achieving, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, massive chalk ditches several thousand years ago with relatively simple tools. Incredible fitness, incredible endurance.
How are they doing it all day for so many years? Like,
yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, you know, it's truly monumental. And now we get the advantage, hopefully, of the flat side of the basket. It's quite a good loading shape. And it goes. Pretty good scrapers.
yeah.
I mean, you know, it's not a modern tool. We're not kidding ourselves here. But if that's what you've got,
Yeah.
it's pretty efficient. Yeah, I don't think there's any shame in wearing gloves as a modern person doing this kind of stuff. Okay. Right, I've got that. You ready?
Uh,
Hold on, let me just get this off. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Nice.
Jesus.
That's good. Oh, 48 kilos.
That's not bad.
That's good effort. Oh, that's an easy win.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
You chose the soft side then.
The weathered brown stuff. I'm no fool. Okay, let's get this down.
I'll go for more realism.
You're young, Felix. You're young and fit. I'm an old crusty. This is the difference between youth and vigour and experience.
Yeah. Sounds like you've been doing it for
Yeah.
like 30 years.
Well, to be fair, I have dug a fair few times with these tools, so they're not entirely alien to me, but this is why it's quite interesting for you and for me. Look at that.
Jesus, that was quick.
That was pretty quick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I might go for a record. So I think the
Really?
previous record was 59 kilos, maybe 58.
Uh-huh.
So let's see if we can push it out. Whether we can get it out of the hole is actually the main issue. We haven't actually tested the whole capacity of this basket yet. This might be it. Ooh, that looks quite heavy. Bring this over. Now then, you ready?
Yeah.
On my command.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Yes. Nice.
Jesus.
Oh, that's what I carried out. That's literally what I carried out. 59. Okay, so I think this is basket 5 we're about to start.
A quarter of the way there.
Basket 5, 50 kilos, 5. This would be 250 kilo mark, quarter of a ton this basket. Come on, Felix, we want a good effort. Okay, so the previous loading step is disappearing, but I seem to remember it was quite hard. So I'm just going to let you enjoy the sound of a Neolithic worker, actually. So, what do you think the attributes of a Neolithic chalk miner would have been, Felix?
I reckon pretty strong.
Pretty strong, yeah.
That's the vibe I'm getting.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because any manual task like this, from experience, you have to put your brain in another place, don't you?
Yeah.
So you're obviously focusing on like getting things out, but actually it's about being able to lock your brain away almost.
It's just a lot, really.
So this is basket 5 in the making. Yeah. I mean, it's not a modern shovel.
No, but it's better than hands.
Yeah, I agree, yes. And that's a really good point, actually. It is definitely better than hands. Okay. Let's see if I grab that. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, when you're ready. 1, 2, 3, go! That's good. So, basket 5. just stick that on. Oh, this feels heavy. 55. Very good.
Oh.
Oop.
Oh.
It's fine. So we're on to basket 6. I've just checked the time. So the first 260 kilos took about 30 minutes. We weren't breaking our backs. It was a sort of steady pace with pauses, and obviously we're filming, which takes a bit of time. But that's not bad. So half an hour, quarter of a ton. Next quarter of a ton, let's see. I'll work on this hump here, try and get it straight in the basket. Pick up that stuff. Well, that was a good nodule flint. Just going to rock that in. So this is basket 6.
Yeah.
Oh, 61.
Nice.
Woo! $61. So this is basket 7 beginning.
Love my days down pit.
So it's really noticeable, isn't it? In the topsoil, it loves it.
Yeah.
I mean, really efficient digging tools. And then you hit the chalk or the flint.
Do you reckon it'd work as a... with that side?
As a hammer?
Yeah.
Yeah, try it. I mean, Julian was using it to break up nodules the other day that were in the way. I mean, that's when I nap flint tools, that's the bit I use. You just have to be a bit careful of bits flying off, I think.
Yeah.
But it is a soft hammer, that's what that's called in napping terms.
Right.
So, Felix, what are the disadvantages of these tools? What do you not like about it?
Never quite sure exactly where you're going to hit.
Yeah.
They vary in sharpness. Some of them are alright, some of them are definitely too blunt.
Yeah. So, basket 7 nears completion. Right. If you swivel it around the other way, actually, it's better with the round side in. Yeah, there we go. Okay. When you're ready. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Nice. Woo! How's that?
Hard work.
Yeah. This is basket 7. $55 kilos.
It's pretty good.
Good load. Excellent. Bloody hell. This is a red deer antler. This is the original sort of part where it joins to the head, the skull. They're shed naturally in nature. You don't have to kill the animal to get this. So at the right time of year, these would literally fall off. And our Neolithic ancestors could pick them up and use them as tools. What's amazing about antler is it's incredibly resilient. It's very dense, quite heavy, and these natural tines, as they're called, have good points. This is very worn now, but good points. To turn them into a tool, you need to remove some of the tines and leave a main pick. But in terms of a durable, resilient tool, nature has provided us with a fantastic thing to make something like this would take a lot of time and effort, whereas this is shed by the animal in nature. So that's our starter. The other piece of evidence we find in our Neolithic ditches are these things. If you've never seen one, you're probably wondering what on earth it is, but it's actually the shoulder blade from a cow. So that takes the muscle groups that works the arm and the shoulder. It's got this very interesting rib that runs up the centre of it. But you can see it sort of lends itself to scooping, and traditionally these are called cow shoulder blade shovels. And the term shovel is problematic for me because it implies that you use it like a shovel. And actually, although it has some use like that, there's a sort of natural holding point here, the capacity isn't great. But as a scraper, as something to move material into a basket or a container, they're really good. This is what we find in Neolithic ditches, but I'm pretty convinced that this isn't all they were using. There must have been other tools as well. Okay, so this is basket 8, and we've done a fair bit of clearing up loose from the base and working from the face, which is relatively straightforward. You can kind of lean the basket against the face and work into it, which is nice and efficient. But of course they were going down, they were going deep into this chalk ground. So I think what I might do is do a section of the base. This will take a lot longer, but I think it's got to be worth a go. So I'll do this middle bit, which looks like it needs attention. Yeah, this is where the work begins, I think. Yeah, because you're not getting that free load into the basket as you knock it off. You've got all of this has got to get in there somehow.
And you don't get as much as you're hoping you will.
No. Trying to really throw it into the back of the basket.
Let's scrape that quickly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're getting some nice blocks of chalk from the base. This is the solid bedrock chalk, unweathered, much harder. You can see it coming out. And why is it? Whenever you start anything physical, your nose runs. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
It's just a thing, isn't it? Is it? Don't know what it is. Condensation?
No idea.
No idea. It's not condensation. What's that old phrase? Men sweat, women perspire. Oh no, horses sweat. I think it's horses sweat. You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go. Nice. Woo.
It's getting heavier and heavier.
It's getting heavier and heavier. It's getting windy.
It's very windy.
Felix, what basket's this?
9.
I think it is.
Yeah,
yeah,
9.
It is, yeah, we've just done 8, so this is basket 8. 9.
No,
basket 9. Basket
9.
Yeah, so there's a working edge down there somewhere that I was picking at.
Now I just feel like one of the monkeys from 2001.
2001?
Yeah.
You mean the apes?
Oh, that, yeah. Just
What you mean to say is the Australopithecus.
Yeah, that is exactly what I mean. Jesus.
That's coming out really nicely.
Yeah.
I mean, it might just be my perspective, but I feel like you're further in the hole than when we started. I feel like you're a long way down there. It's interesting, isn't it? Because you would think, when you look at these earthworks, that people are just hacking away. But actually, even in what we've done already, there's method. Yeah. You're not just chopping, you're working out how to get it out, best place to shovel from. Yeah, it's not just randomly butchering, is it?
No.
Okay, so you're probably wondering what we're loading into. This is a basket made by Caroline Gregson, who's a basket maker in Cheshire, who I've known for a few years now. And I asked her to use her knowledge of basket making to produce something that would carry loads. And she looked at the sort of history of basketry and realised that in Western Europe, the ancient tradition is to build the basket upside down on the ground. So these zales, these uprights, were driven into the ground and she wove the form of the basket. It's based on my design because I was interested in a loading edge. So there's a flat edge that you can put on the ground or up against the ditch. And then when the basket was made, it's taken us a while to get this experiment off the ground. So I then reinforced it. Caroline was worried about the base because that's the weak point of the weave. So she reinforced it with lots of willow, and then I've put on wetted leather pads and wetted leather straps, which are actually already loosening through use. And the idea is that that just protects the base and it tensions the top, so the top can't pull off. And then, like traditional creel carrying, it's not done with shoulder straps, not done with the arms, not done on the head, but it's done around the shoulders. So in fact, we've got one carry loop which takes the weight of the basket. You can see it's tucked through the weave itself, through the uprights on these strong points. And then this goes around the shoulders, and although we're not using it much in this experiment, I've done tests with 60 kilos with that over my shoulders, carrying it up the steps in the ditch, and it works really well. It's not like a modern rucksack, but again, it's something you'd become accustomed to. So one of the issues we always face as experimental archaeologists is that we're not Neolithic people. We haven't done this from the age of 3 or 4 or 5, and so we're always trying to learn the new methods that they must have been really familiar with. Anyway, let's load it. Let me get my shovel. It's interesting, isn't it, when you think about the sheer scale of some of these monuments. So the ditch at Avebury Henge, a vast, very steep ditch, and something like 650,000 tons of chalk came from that ditch. And every time I do this, I just can't help but imagine the sheer workforces that must be involved. Hundreds, if not thousands of people at times, doing exactly this job, this process of moving vast quantities of chalk to physically shape the landscape. I mean, it's incredible stuff. Before we have a donut,
Yeah.
let's see what this is. Oh, a modest 55 kilos, but it's over the 50. That's good.
All we need.
55 kilos. Nice. So we've seen the antler picks, and because these are so resilient and incredibly dense material, it survives the test of time. So we find these in the base of these chalk ditches. They're not destroyed by time. The kind of things that we might have found but are simply not preserved are things like this. So this is an experimental tool I've produced. It's the stem of a hazel tree, cut off and pointed, and one of the branches kept. So the branch ends up being the haft for wielding it, and the point, you can see it's a bit charred there. We fire hardened this, and they're actually relatively efficient. They blunten much quicker than antler, so you wouldn't want to work at very hard consolidated chalk with this, but if you were moving piles of already mined material, this would be quite a good tool. The issue we have as archaeologists is that this will never leave evidence behind after thousands of years. It will rot, disappear. Along with things like the basket, you will never find any of that unless it's in a waterlogged deposit. So the things that we do find, the antlers and the bones, they give us a skewed idea of what people were using in the past. Because we only find these, we tend to focus on these as the only tools they had. And I genuinely don't think that was the case. They must have been using other things as well.